Hi, and welcome to our how-to video from Scottsdale Veterinary on trimming nails.
Nails play a very important role in your pet's health and their mobility. If they're left to grow for too long, they can cause different kinds of injuries and issues for your pet. They can catch on things, tear, and they can grow into the pad of your pet's paw. So it's very important to keep them trimmed nice and short at a healthy length for your pet.
So the nail is made up of a hard outer shell, and it also has a central area that's called the quick, and the quick is made up of the blood and nerve supply. So just like if we cut our nails too short, it does hurt and it can bleed if we do cut it too short. So when you are trimming your nails, if you're deciding to go ahead and do that at home, you definitely want to have something called quick stop or styptic powder, which is going to help clot that area if you do end up cutting it a little bit too short. And it does happen even to the best of us. As careful as we are, occasionally it can happen here as well. So we always have it on hand, just in an emergency situation.
Some other important things to have are, of course, the clippers. So here we kind of have the most standard kind of nail clippers. They're quite large. There's also a guillotine style nail clipper, which Amber can show you here. And then you can also buy smaller nail clippers. These are good for cats and also for small dogs, and for dogs with very curly nails. That can help too.
I find it really good for getting underneath pug nails because they can often be really close to the pad.
And then we also have nail grinders are another tool that people use. We won't be covering how to use this particular tool in this video, but it's just good to be aware that that's another option out there. And then another tool is a nail file. This is great for kind of softening the edges of those nails. And if your pet is really afraid of the clippers, this is great to just practice getting them used to having something touch their nails and put pressure on their nails there. Another important thing to have, as always, is treats. Anything tasty to make this a positive experience for your pet. So here we have some treats. And it's also helpful to have a helper with you, just to, again, give the pet lots of affection and cuddles, making it positive, and hold the pet secure while you're trying to trim those nails so we don't trim them too short by accident.
So with cats in particular, they have a special ability to retract their claws when they're not using them. So to be able to extend them, what you'd want to do is press on their paw pad to just extend that out. So once you push down on their little toe there, it's going to extend that toenail out so you can see where the quick is and where the sharp area of the nail is that we're going to cut. And every cat is different. Some are very uncertain about having their paws touched, and others are very good about it. Some can be quite aggressive when you try to handle them, and in that case, you want to try and keep them wrapped securely in a towel. We do have a video on making your cat into a little burrito if you wanted to watch that. The only adjustment I would make in that video is have one of their arms or paws out of the towel while you're trimming, just so you can do one paw at a time and yet keep the rest of them safely secured within the towel wrap. Yeah, so right now Rosie is pretty comfortable, not too concerned about it. I trim her nails at home often just in my lap, but here in the clinic we usually have one person hold and the other person trim. So Eva's just going to hold on to her while we go ahead and extend those nails. Most cats have 5 nails on the front paws and 4 nails on the back paws, unless your cat is a polydactyl. So the first one I usually go for is this thumbnail claw, or the first digit. So I'm going to just extend that out, and then we'll trim off the tip of the nail just before the quick area. So you don't have to trim very much, and if you're just getting started, it's not a bad idea to just take a little bit at a time, and you'll be able to see that it's quite brittle at the end where you're cutting. And usually if the cat has clear nails or white nails, you'll be able to see where the pink starts, and that's where the quick and the blood supply and nerve supply are. So definitely avoid cutting into that area. Cats use their nails to communicate. They use them, they groom them quite frequently as well. You may notice them scratching different surfaces, biting at their nails with their teeth. That's to keep them sharp. Usually the front nails are the sharpest, and the back nails are a little shorter because they're not doing that scratching motion with the back feet. Often the front feet, you might need to take off a little bit more nail when you're trimming than the back. So you can
It can be helpful if you have a helper. While the nail trimmer is holding the paw, you can try to gently hold the elbow of the pet's leg or arm to keep them from pulling it back like that.
Good girl. So brave. Good girl. Yeah. Some people may find it a little easier if you put them on their side for the nail trimming, or even hold them like upside down in their lap. It's all what your cat is comfortable with. Don't ever put your cat in a situation that they don't feel comfortable in. And if you're ever concerned about trimming them at home, you're more than welcome to bring your pet here to have us do them as well. So for dogs, we do find that some of them are quite unhappy about having their feet touched. So it's going to be really important to work on training your dog to get used to having their feet touched and to really like having their feet touched. So with Briar here, we're just going to show you a game that we like to play, and it's called You Don't Get a Treat Till I Touch Your Feet. It's a good little rhyme to remember it by. So paw, and then you give them a treat once they're giving you your paw, and then you kind of work towards holding the nail and giving them treats. And then the next stage of the game is just touching the nail trimmers to the paw. And then the next stage, if they let you get to this point, the next stage is to cut the nail. He's like, oh, that's a different level. That's a different level altogether.
Good girl.
But always rewarding every time they allow you to get past that barrier, because some dogs are actually quite fearful of having their nails touched. So getting them used to having the nail trimmer near them, not being afraid, having it touch their paws, and then rewarding them is going to be a really good game plan at home. Briar, come here. Come on over. So there's lots of different ways you can hold your pet for nail trimming. Sit. Good girl. You can do it sitting and have them offer their paw up to you. Try the paw for me. Good. And do it sort of from the front. You can also come sort of to the side and have them tuck their paw up under them so that you can see the tip of the quick when you're cutting. Another style is to have them lay on their side. Yeah, and laying on their side, you can sort of get a good visual of the nail this way as well. Stay there. Good dog. And then you always want to reward them. Every time you trim one nail, give them one treat. One or two treats.
You don't necessarily have to do all the nails at once. You can do 2 nails in a day, and that's a success, and then leave the rest for the next stage, just to really make it a gradual and positive experience for them.
So we're very fortunate with Briar that she has the white colored nails, so it makes it easy to see where the quick is. But for some dogs, the pigment within their nails make it very hard to see the quick. So when you're trimming, you want to just take a very small amount off at a time and kind of trim at a little angle.
Mm-hmm. And then surrounding the quick of the nail is a kind of chalky white protective layer. So as you're trimming the nail, you'll be able to see on the new trimmed edge the beginning of a white round shape there. And as that shape gets bigger and bigger, it'll be a white circle with a dark spot in the middle. Some people call it a sort of bullseye. And that's a good indication that you're getting close to the quick, and it's a good time to stop trimming.
Yeah.
So that's a good trick for dark colored nails, is looking for that white bullseye on the nail as you're trimming just bit by bit.
Yeah, some people describe it as like a black licorice sort of appearance, especially the black nails, as you're getting closer. And then in the lighter nails, it may be more of a moist light pink color as you're getting closer to the quick, and you don't want to cut any further than that. If you do end up cutting into the quick, which can happen, it's always good to have that quick stop on hand, like we mentioned earlier. and you can apply that directly to the bleeding area of the toenail. You may want to put a little bit of pressure on there and just hold it for about 30 seconds to a minute until that bleeding has stopped. And if you do find that it's bleeding further than you can control, you can always put a bandage on it and then bring them into the clinic and we can have a closer look at it here.
So be sure to take it nice and slow with your pet. Always keep it nice and positive, lots of treats and cuddles. And like we said before, you can do 1 nail a day if you need to. Just take it really slow. We believe in you. We know you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any trouble, you can always bring your pet in and we're happy to trim their nails ourselves. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more helpful videos like this one.